Villains in video games are usually predictable. They're evil because they're evil. They monologue about world domination, rub their hands together more than someone putting on a lot of lotion, and they kind of just wait for you to show up and punch them in the face. But every now and then a villain shows up that doesn't just exist in the story, but steals it. Handsome Jack wasn't just the villain of Borderlands 2, he was the reason to play Borderlands 2. Charismatic, hilarious, disturbingly psychotic, because Jack didn't just want to stop you, he wanted to make sure you knew how much cooler he was while doing it. Because this week I thought about Borderlands and how Handsome Jack turned one of the wackiest looter shooter experiences into one of the greatest gaming experiences of all time. But before we jump into that, let's back up to 2009 when the original Borderlands was released. It was like someone took a gritty Mad Max style apocalypse and smashed it together with the energy of a drunk uncle at a Vegas casino. Guns with infinite ammo, shotguns that shoot rockets, sniper rifles that sometimes set people on fire. Borderlands wasn't just fun, it was chaos. The real game changer though was the art style. Gearbox looked at the gritty, hyper-realistic games dominating the market and said, well, yeah, but what if it was a comic book fever dream? And it worked, and suddenly Borderlands stood out. And it gave us Pandora, where the only thing more dangerous than the wildlife is the property value. The story wasn't exactly Shakespeare, it was more so find, vault, loot, repeat, but it was fun and simple. And then Borderlands 2 came. And oh boy, did it kick that door down. If the first game was a wild idea at a party, then Borderlands 2 was that idea after 3 shots of espresso and a hold my beer. And that's where our favorite disturbed killer, Handsome Jack, comes into play. Jack wasn't just a villain, he was the villain. He didn't sit in a lair twirling his mustache. No, Jack called you mid-mission just to roast your entire existence. Oh, you're still alive? Cool, I just bought a pony made out of diamonds and named him Butt Stallion. Who does that? And Jack wasn't just evil, he was petty evil. He made you laugh while actively ruining your life. But here's the interesting part, Handsome Jack didn't think he was the bad guy. In Jack's mind, he's the hero of the story. And was Jack actually the hero? Okay, hear me out. Pandora is a mess. It's like Mad Max on steroids with a sprinkle of anarchist cosplay. Bandits are running wild, skags bite everything that moves, and Claptrap exists. Someone needed to take charge. Jack took a look at this chaos and went, yeah, I could do this. Sure, his methods were questionable. Okay, they were insane. He enslaved people, casually committed war crimes, and murdered people like it was his 9 to 5. But was it that different from what the Vault Hunters were doing? They blew up half the planet and called it heroics. Jack believed Pandora needed order and his Hyperion Corporation was just the corp to do it. In a twisted way, he wasn't wrong. I mean, who else was supposed to lead? The Crimson Raiders, a ragtag group of misfits? They couldn't organize a lunch order, let alone save the planet. Jack's vision of a corporate hellscape was terrifying, but it might have been Pandora's best shot at order. But then came the problem, because after Borderlands 2, Gearbox had an insurmountable task. How do you top perfection? The pre-sequel tried, but let's be real, it ended up feeling more like Borderlands 2.5. Cool ideas like zero gravity and lasers couldn't quite mask the fact it was like store-bought soda. Fine, but not what you wanted. And then there was Borderlands 3, and Gearbox said, you want guns? Here, have 1 billion guns. Gameplay-wise, it was the most polished Borderlands has ever been. But the villains, Tyrene and Troy Calypso, they felt more like Twitch streamers with a murder fetish. Like, comment, subscribe to your death. I mean, seriously, who's writing this shit? I get the idea, but still lame. And don't get me started on Claptrap. That annoying toaster we once loved by Borderlands 3 is more like that annoying friend that shows up uninvited and eats all your snacks. But Handsome Jack was special. Handsome Jack was funny. Jack had a diamond pony named Butt Stallion. He was the perfect villain because he made you hate him, but you also secretly root for him to keep talking. He was Shakespeare, but if Shakespeare was also mentally twisted and roasted you on the daily. Even in defeat, Jack left a legacy. I mean, every Borderlands villain since has been living in his shadow, and none have come even close. But after Borderlands 3, things took a weird turn. Remember the Borderlands movie? No? Good. Let's keep it that way. It was like watching someone describe the games while having a stroke. And just as my hope was buried under that flaming wreckage, the Borderlands 4 trailer dropped. And you know what? It's got me cautiously optimistic. For the first time in years, it feels like Borderlands has a small chance of redeeming itself. Maybe even recapture some of the chaos and charm that made the series legendary. But maybe I'm just manic and it's gonna bomb. At its core though, Borderlands isn't about one character or one game. It's about the absurdity, the chaos, and the moments you share with your friends. It's about accidentally blowing yourself up with a rocket launcher, or spending hours farming for a legendary gun only for your buddy to loot ninja it faster and say finders keepers. It's a vibe, it's ridiculous, and it's a loot-filled fever dream that somehow feels like home. Even if we haven't had a revolutionary Borderlands product in a long time, it has a special place in gaming history. Because nothing feels better than hearing that legendary ping as an orange gun hits the ground. I'm Zen, aka ZenMiso. Thank you for being here.